I want to go to law school. So what was the one draw with NYU? I just wanted to see, yeah, and also I just wanted to see if I could actually get into a pretty.
So, it's mainly just going to be us today, and engineering's out at a sustainability meeting today.
Yeah, he got it.
Is it for one of
He did listen to
decided
you.
it was because I want to do a project. I don't know if the mayor kind of talked about
He
it.
talked about a little bit that you were going to be
Oh,
doing
yeah.
something, and
Well,
and you'd be with us for a while, and
Yeah.
then you'd be going to Kenyon, and you'd be working with them and leaving us behind.
No,
you
not
don't.
that. No.
She goes to Kenya. She goes farther away.
But one of the things I have to do is like take a picture of to kind of like let them know that I'm kind of proof that I'm actually. Is that okay if I take a picture of everybody? Just
You
like,
guys all right with having your photograph? Well, we're on YouTube, so yeah.
okay. Oh, okay.
You could just take,
You're being recorded.
yeah, they get the whole meeting on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just see the video. Yeah, even better.
It shows you in it. Okay, you're good to go? We're up and running? All right. All right, everybody, we're off and running. Everybody from engineering today is in Columbus at a sustainability meeting, so we don't have them for backup or answers on things, so we're gonna do the best we can without that. So did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes last month? No. Do you have another copy of that?
I have one more.
Okay, good. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna move into a couple other things that aren't on the list. Okay, so, we have the minutes from last meeting. You didn't get to look at them, so you wanted to throw it off to the end and then vote on it then? I think we'll do that. Okay, so last month, email was here, and I said, hey, we have a new member email, and then I just took off. April's here today helping out from the water department. Judy's not. She's out on a boat somewhere in the Bahamas.
Well, someone's got to do it.
I know. That's what I said. It's a tough job. But we have email Diener is one of our new members. I said, hey, email's here today, and then I didn't say anything. So, and I felt bad about it. Russ called me on it. Said you dropped the ball, and it's like, dang, I dropped the ball. So, would you like to kind of introduce yourself to everybody and tell them what it is you do and why you're here?
I'm retired. So that's what I do. But for 43 years, I was a registered landscape architect for a company called Pogemeyer Design Group. The corporate office was out of Bowling Green, Ohio, and I worked out of our Columbus office. And most of the jobs that I worked on were exactly being consultants, just like you guys are doing to us. I did to other tree commissions around the city. Not around the city, around the state. I've got some Nevada work out in Las Vegas that I worked on, and my forte was master planning parks, and did a lot of municipal master planning parks and downtown streetscapes. And I gave up my registration back in 19 when I retired, and then Russ said, hey, you know, there's something going on here, come on out here. And I said, yeah, I might be able to add a little bit here and there. My first observation of being in town when we came in town, lived here for 5 years, is obviously I looked at exactly the same thing that I did, you know, for 43 years. And I said, they're doing good. I was very satisfied with what I was seeing, and every time I thought something should happen, here, lo and behold, something happened and happened right. So I know you've been in good hands beforehand, and I expect that to continue as we go through the relationship together.
Very good. Thank you. Now, you know Brian Wade.
Right.
Randy?
Actually, I worked with your dad
Yeah.
many years ago.
Actually, Cheryl saw your name. She said, I know that guy.
Is that right? Okay, there you go.
All
Yeah.
right.
Did you guys work together? Is that why you guys knew each other?
There were projects that they did the plantings on that I did the design on. We worked together, different places.
All right, then, you guys want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, we kind of did. We did when
But you have another new one
We have
too.
another young lady we haven't gotten.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Purcell, I'm with the Parks Department here in Mount Vernon.
I'm Scott Zimmerman. I'm retired 3 times, but I have my own business. It's complete maintenance. It's a small ornamental tree business. I was superintendent over parks, buildings, lands, cemetery, projects, and then my last 3 years being superintendent, we built Aerial Foundation Park with Mr. Stormeyer and the board that I was on then. And then I retired, went back out, and did operations. We did the lights on the tower and the downtown bridges, things like that. And then retired again, and then now I'm back, but I'm just doing consulting, and then I do all small ornamental trees and shrubs. So,
I didn't know all that.
didn't you?
No.
He's a busy guy.
Like the lights and all that. That's nice.
Yeah.
And Brian, you want to tell everybody who you are?
I'm Brian Wade from Wade Gat Nursery in Belleville, and I've been helping out the Shade Tree Commission for quite a
Oh my
long
God.
time.
Before, I think before, I was way before I was even
I think-
superintendent.
I think I've been here longer on the Shade Tree Commission, longer than anybody here. I've seen all those places. Most of them change a few times. So,
All right. Okay, now, we have a new member. Would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a high school student, name is Samara Davis, from actually Mount Vernon here. I'm a senior, and it's not really much. I would like to get into Kenya and still try and get involved here in the community. That's the reason why I found out about the Shade Tree and Beautification, and I love getting involved in the community. I'm in multiple clubs at the high school. One of the clubs that I'm the vice president of is Sustainability Club, so it kind of works well with this commission. You can kind of see similarities in it, which is why I really want to get involved in here. So, yeah.
What are you thinking about majoring in?
International Studies.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
I would think so. It'd be like humanities and.
Yeah. Most people don't when I tell them, so.
That's all right.
Well, he's retired 4 times.
I do a lot of reading. No, the reason I knew that is my son's been in the Navy now for 19 years, and when he was getting his degree, he said it was ridiculous. He had to take a humanities class, and he'd been to Somalia, Iraq, Greece, Haiti. He's been all over, and he said it was a bit redundant, but that's, right. That's why I knew about it.
Okay.
All right, so we kind of just kind of get things done. We have a bunch of little projects going on, and you'll get involved in them as we go. All right, so we will give Russ a chance to look at the meeting, or the minutes from last meeting before we go on. I've got financial on here, and we have spent some money. We're going to spend more money, and we will spend every dime we have. I don't have the full numbers. Quentin was out today, so I didn't get my reports, but we're in good shape on all our projects. We're fully funded on everything that we've talked about up to this date. So under new, I've got Heartland Commerce Park. Brian and Emo and Jeff Goki and myself and Zane went with us, and we walked around Heartland Commerce Park, our new industrial area, to scope out sites for trees, where to put things. Walked around with them, and he really liked it. Brian has put together a quote that I have. We're going to go over the map and the quote, and then meet with them again and present it and see where we go. I was surprised. We have almost 200 trees on the list
For Commerce?
for Commerce Park. Yes. There. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of places where they
Well,
wanted trees.
It's like 47 acres
There's-
altogether. Now,
yeah.
granted, a lot of it's under roof, but yeah,
There's just a lot. There's a lot of open space, and we're going to try to turn it into green space.
that'd be great.
So whether we can get it all done in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that's still up for conversation. But we've got an idea about how we want to do it.
Are you getting to do like around the parking lots that are on the other side of the street?
Yes, the parking lots on Sandusky Street. There's actually back in the back. There's a outdoor smoking area. We're going to tree that up. The new. I forgot the name of the park.
Like curved? Like
Yeah, right on the
concrete.
curve. There's a name for it.
You ever where cats going?
It's a design after a steam engine that Cooper Bessemer originally built, and there's a name for it, and I don't have it, and I've forgotten it. But I will find out. We'll have that for you. Do you happen to remember what it
No.
was? No. Yeah, it's some kind of, it's some kind of engine. But the layout is in the design of the original, one of the original engines that Cooper Bessemer built, steam engines. So that'll be a very, if we can get that in, it'll be marvelous. I'll be very excited with that.
It's gonna be quite a campus, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. They've got people coming in, Restore's gonna be in there in the spring. January will be in, they'll be in there. So there'll just be a lot of stuff going on. And then they're still talking about the regional hub for the transit right across the street.
Yeah.
So that'll be going in. So it's gonna bring some things into that area, which is good.
Doc, did you guys talk about where they're gonna park their fleet of vehicles? You know, it's down towards Jackson.
We haven't gotten that far.
Okay, because that's like 2 or 2.5 acres down there. And it's just on the west side of the tracks.
In that triangle lot?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just on the west side there, so I would think that would be a nice area to have a little shade too.
There's a lot of asphalt in that area.
Well, on the left-hand side?
It would be on the west side of the tracks, right? Is that what
West
you're talking
side of the tracks it would be the south side, southwest side of the property. Used to be a bunch of buildings up through there, a parking lot. They had a parking lot on one side and then the building on the other.
Mhm.
Well, that's all.
All
green.
gone now.
Yeah, and that's where they're gonna end up parking their fleet, I believe.
Oh, well, we'll have to get into that a little more.
Okay.
We didn't look at that side of the tracks for any of this up. Everything in this project is on the east side of the tracks.
Okay.
Okay. Then, question about any of that? There'll be more of that to come. It's very preliminary. Okay, and then I have Arbor Day on here. Every year we do Arbor Day in the spring. Last year we did the Knox Head Start. That was an excellent program. And Russ and I looked at those trees a few weeks ago, and they really were looking sharp here, considering how dry it's been. Your water crew has done a great job.
Good.
Everything I've seen so far has been very good. When we went to the conference, the Arbor Day conference was that in Worthington, the Tree City USA conference, they dedicated their green space as a level 1 arboretum. And we thought, what a great idea. So you have to have 25 different species. The square, I think we have 31. So we've talked about getting the square designated as an arboretum. And then Laura said, let's do Arbor Day there. So we normally do Arbor Day on a Friday, but in April they would be doing their farmers market, wouldn't
Saturday.
they? But it's Saturday, but they would be doing it in April.
No,
No, it starts in May.
May.
Yeah,
I was,
first
well,
weekend in
maybe
May,
we
I
can
think.
put that dedication off. We can do something for Arbor Day and then come back and do that. But I thought the time to do it would be during the farmers market, when we've got a lot of people downtown, things are happening.
Yeah, how possible is it to have like the square cut off to traffic? Like if kids got bussed in from their schools and had like a
Oh.
Arbor Day festival, is that
Well,
a possibility?
We'll do it on a Friday then. Hey, anything's possible.
On a
Which
Friday.
is something I was thinking about, might be kind of nice.
Yeah, anything's possible with something like that. Yeah, I was thinking of Saturday when there'd be a lot of people, but if we could do something like that, if we could coordinate that with the schools. And we've got a couple months to get that kind of worked out. Good idea.
Yeah, I just thought that might be kind of neat.
Hey, see, that when you start talking to people, you find things out, right?
And eventually, Doc, I'd like to do an Arbor Day out at the park at the 50 natives. And then we could bus the kids in and they could see the 50 native trees
Yeah.
and species and stuff.
That'd
Which
be-
park?
Arrow West Arrow, remember up in the top of the hill? Okay, well, those were things that are kind of in the works. So questions about any of that kind of stuff yet? Okay. Good seeing you back. Don't remember your name.
Corbin,
Courtman. That was good seeing you back.
it's good seeing you all. I'm glad to be back.
All right. So let's go with the TCP. Sarah, what do you got?
So I'm probably 2/3 of the way through my budget in terms of meeting with people and talking about what they want. And on Thursday, Brian is going to join me and give the expert opinion. So we'll get at least the first sort of 2/3. And then I gotta keep working on my list. I'm making contact to spend the rest of the money.
Okay. Would you like to explain to everybody what TCP is?
Sure.
Put you on the spot here.
So, I have a specific budget, and it's for people who are sort of one-offs who are in the city of Mount Vernon, but would like a tree, a shade tree of some type on their property, either the tree lawn or in their own lawn. It's not an area, what confused me initially, it's not an area targeted where you're doing the whole street or the whole neighborhood. And there are other people doing those projects. So there is a spot on the city website you can log on and request a tree, and then those are the people I'm getting back to, or sometimes they call it. But so it's sort of a one-off spread around town. Has to be in Mount Vernon. Generally should be a shade tree, but they're requesting, and their commitment is that they're going to water the tree. The city puts a tree bag on it, and they'll water it themselves, as opposed to the areas where like they're doing whole neighborhoods. And it's a slightly different process. So basically, I have a list from the website, and I contact people, and I go and meet them, and I say, tell me what you would like. But I'm not the expert, so I will talk with Brian, and we'll get to them, and then they get planted late in the year or early the next year. And they water them the next summer, and then they have a tree. So it's a great.
How many requests we get?
Well, that is a good question. I don't know. It's my first year doing this specific. Last year I did a targeted area, but it was still TCP, not to totally confuse things. I probably have like, I don't know, that many names, but that doesn't mean it's one tree per person. I find a lot of people are like, I'd like 2 or sometimes 4. So I'm just working chronologically from the earlier request to the later request to be fair.
Is it on their own private property?
It can be, or it can be in the tree lawn in front of their house.
Yeah.
So either or both. So like I said, it seems like so far this year I'm getting like sort of 2 to 4 trees requested per property owner. So it's not usually just one, but it can be.
Is there a budget? Go
Yes,
private property versus public property?
Well, I'll let Jim get into all the, and really Quentin is the master explainer maybe of the different grants versus budgets versus where the money comes from. I have, for this project, $20,000 in my budget, which I'll let you explain the bigger picture. And so that at $300 a tree is about just under 70 trees. So.
Every year we plan. Every year we use up the
Yes,
budget.
so last year I did a special project under this that was a neighborhood that was targeted, but it was still, they had to water it themselves and whatever. And I had like 35 trees, and I'm not sure if he's former, the gentleman who was on the board did this part, and he did about 35, so it seems like it's about 70 trees under this project line every year. So.
Very good.
And that's like a little piece of like their much bigger projects too. So you can maybe it'd be good to know for the new people how many trees like last year got planted in total.
We just did our Tree City USA application for 2024. We planted 458 trees. We removed 44. So the ratio is really good.
Does that include hers?
That's everything we
That
planted.
included, yeah,
Everything we planted.
the 70 that were under Tree City plus the grant areas.
We had a little over 1,800 hours of volunteer time in that. Scott, you pruned, what was your number? Do you remember?
Roughly 500 trees.
He actually pruned, and Scott, you know, he's talked about ornamentals, what he does. His role in all this, he takes care of invasives, sprays for other things. He helps the Parks Department and Arrow Foundation Park with getting invasive things under control. But he also prunes our new trees, because we found that if we can get our new trees pruned properly, they grow better, and we have a better result in the end with a lot less maintenance. So if you take care of it early, you have way less maintenance later. So, and that was one of the programs we learned in the Tree Commission Academy. So, very good. When you're at it, I appreciate it. Looking good. Well, the list, when Judy and I talk about the list, I name everything off and it gets put on here. So we'll just go, we'll go by you, and then you can, if you don't need
Yeah,
one
no,
step.
that's fine.
But I would, yeah, if you come up to the mic, because Judy has to take everything from what's being said on the mic, so.
Okay.
Randy, you're at the end. You don't get out of here early.
Yeah, we don't go alphabetical in this one, buddy. It's good to see you all again. The first thing I want to tell you, Doc, and he texted me and said, hey, there's a prescription pruning workshop in Worcester. And I don't know why I didn't see it, because my ISA membership in my magazine, there's a full page ad, and I don't know why I missed it. But anyways, I went to that last Thursday and Friday in Worcester, Ohio. Dr. Ed Gillum out of the University of Florida, who has been a arborist for 40 years and worked in nurseries and everything. It was really good because the first 12 of the 16 hours was dealing with newly planted trees, working with the structures, when the structure coming out of the nurseries, working with dual dominant leads. You know, if you ever see a tree, it looks like a V. You got your trunk comes up, and then you got a V. Well, these would be dual common leads. They both want to be the main part of the tree. Well, what years gone by, we used to do a removal cut if they wasn't too big. But what they're doing now, and it's really fascinating, they're doing a reduction cuts. So instead of taking that co-lead off all the way, they'll come down to where it's 1/3 of the size, do a reduction cut with a, hopefully with a bud protruding out to enhance the growth out, and let it, that way it'll have a way to gain sugars and energy, and then in 2 to 3 years do another reduction cut. Because if you just lop it off, you want to get sprouts and suckers and all that. But by doing the reduction cut, what it does, it stimulates the other lead, so it takes off, and then the other one starts slowing down. And then in 2 to 3 years, this one's up here and this is down here, you can do another reduction cut, and then it would enhance it. Sometimes you don't take them all the way off either. It just depends on the species of the tree and stuff. What we noticed in the class was he took pictures of trees that he started on this 20 years ago, and they was big trees. They would be like, the ginkgo on the square and stuff. And he started bringing it down and working those leads and doing reduction cuts. And over that 20 year, instead of the tree going this, it had a main lead. No, it wasn't perfectly straight. It had a main lead. It was full, healthy, and thriving. So that was exciting for me, because I used to do some reduction cuts, and Brian showed me a lot with the younger trees as well over the years. But this is for me, a tree nerd. It's kind of exciting to do this, because you can do, you have the 3 main cuts is your removal, reduction, and then a deadhead, which we don't like to do, but sometimes there is a place for that. So that was 2 days, and like I told Doc, I probably had more go over my head than it sunk in at times, but it was a very good 2 days and well spent. Now to our trees here. I was out at the NAS University and took care of some pruning out there. I wanted to ask, who do I need to get a hold of? Because there's still water bags on the bold cypress, and we have a dead one out there. Is that you guys? Did you water at the? That's the university.
Those are their bags?
Okay. Those are the only new trees, or the newer trees, I haven't fertilized yet. I have to still fertilize those. And then I wanted to talk to them about if they wanted to take the bold cypress out, they want me to cut it out, what they want to do with it. Are we going to replace it, or?
I think we're talking about replacing it.
Well, then you want me to leave a couple feet up, or you just want me to leave it?
Just leave it.
Just leave it? Okay. Okay.
It's the one with the green ribbon.
Yeah.
I tied that green ribbon. So
Yeah, we lost him.
They actually put 2 bags on that one too. But it was
They went down swinging. They tried. Yeah.
It got dry the year before.
Yes. It kind of stunned it a little bit. It was struggling. So, so the fertilization went well. I pruned a few more, and I'm going to, as I drive through town every now and then, I'll just stop, and if I see suckers or something, I'll just cut them off and do that. It's no big deal. Also, I treated the oaks again over at the CA&C Depot. That one tree, Brian and I talked about. I mean, it does look better, but we might want to look into about maybe replacing that one oak with a gall that has the worst gall. There's about 3 of them that have it, but one is really bad. Now, it did slow it down, and it did get some color back to it and stuff, but we'll see what it looks like in the spring.
Yeah,
Okay,
spring.
I dosed those trees again 2 weeks ago. I dosed those. So, also, since I'm back out at the park, we're going to get a brush hog. Hopefully we can partner with the city. We're going to get a brush hog, and we're going to grind up and chop everything that we've got taken care of that we treated this year, the invasives.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to get those cleaned up, and then I'm going to, where we wanted to do that edge where we planted towards the river, hopefully I'll have enough time to get that cleaned up too. So
Good.
that's in the works. So
Good.
that'll be on the other side of it. Took the stakes off of our locust down here across from the old Mazas on high end. They got dry, but I think they'll be okay. I mean, they still seem to be doing all right.
Well, that's why we picked those. Those beech trees did not do well there. So
Well, that
for something
that
more-
ground there too, you ought to have seen those kids trying to dig in that. That was rough. that was some. We found a lot of brick and a lot of asphalt down there that day. The trees over at Hiawatha, of course, they're going to keep their stakes. They're looking good. I'm going to hit them again in the spring with some more fertilizer and pruning there. Ditch looks good. Everything looks pretty good really over there. We did lose one tree over by the restroom. I believe it was an oak. We planted, remember there's an old wild cherry there, and we planted an oak there and he didn't make it. So I'm going to remove it. I think I could get the roots and all out of it. It's only been in there about a year. So other than that, the Glens, Santa Glens, all that stuff's looking good. I think there's a couple I got to straighten a little bit. The kids didn't get in there real square, but we'll get them taken care of. This was my last month on my monthly thing, but I still do things throughout the year and stuff, and it's no big, I enjoy doing it, so that's what I do. Trying to think if there's anything else. I usually have a whole bunch of notes.
I want to hitch up with Hiawatha.
Yeah.
At the parking lot, north parking lot, I think there was probably, did you and I look at those? Yeah, there was like 6 of those arborvitaes.
All the arbors that died? Yeah.
Yeah, and they looked like they were covered in grape and a bunch of other
They
stuff.
was. I went in, I treated the grapevine, but I don't think it was in time. I think it got it. It would be nice to replace those. I think we planted those, remember when we built the pool, the aquatic complex?
Yeah.
The neighbor there wanted to be walled off, and that's when we put those there. So that might be something we could do in the spring or something.
I think we need to replace them.
Okay, yeah.
I'm starting a replacement list, and that's something I'll mention to everybody. If you're driving through town and you see a tree that's not looking good, you see a dead tree or something like that, just kind of make a little note about where it is and let us know. 'Cause we've got a few that we're going to have to replace, but I tend to drive around in the dark more. I leave early and come home late. I don't always see them.
We might look to those dogwoods at the corner of Sandusky and High. They have some more suckers on them I got to take off, but they're rough. They're pretty rough.
Sandusky and High.
Right where we planted the hawthorn.
Oh, yeah, okay. They're in the tree lawn.
In the tree lawn there.
Well, in
yeah.
dogwoods, we've fought with those for years.
Yeah, dogwood's a beautiful tree if it's in your yard and you baby it.
Yeah.
But when it's getting hit with slush and salt and road grime and kids hanging off of it, it's hard to get them going. So I treated the trees also in the cemetery. If I have time, I'm going to hit them with a little bit more iron and manganese. There's a couple of them that are still a little yellow. It's hard now this time of the year because they're all getting yellow. But I've got a mental note on the two more that I want to treat again over there.
Sorry, I thought I turned that off. I thought I turned it off.
Hey, it's okay. Other than that, I mean, I think it's been a pretty productive 7 months, I think we've accomplished quite a bit, and we're going to continue. The trees, I sent Brian a picture the other day. I was out fertilizing and doing stuff, and it was one of those bluebird sky days, and I looked, and there's a big red oak that's just gorgeous. So I had to take some pictures and stuff. So it's what we get to do is very rewarding, and I get to do it because you guys are gracious and you want to be good stewards of the trees that you get, and I appreciate it. Look forward to it every year. So if you have any questions or anything? Yeah.
Hey, Scott, like in the last meeting, there's two things I remember. St. Vincent's was worried about their trees. Did we go check them out, or?
Yeah, we looked at those. Those are going to be you're talking about the two evergreens out front.
I don't know. I remember you guys bringing up St.
Yeah,
Vincent.
I think we discussed we're gonna remove those and replace them with something that's a little hardier there. We're thinking. I think we was thinking.
What
like
do
a
you do with
maple
the
or
old trees? You just put them somewhere else?
Yeah.
the one could be transplanted. The other one, I don't think it's worth it.
I think we're going to end up transplanting both of them out to the depot.
Out to the depot.
Out to
Okay,
C&C.
that'll be good.
What
Yeah.
about in the old business too? There's a homeowner in the west end, I thought it was Walnut Street. Right up there was a crotch in the tree or something. She thought it was gonna fall. Remember it?
Yeah, that's
Zane was going to
Zane's
look
not
at.
here today.
Usually, if there's like a bark inclusion and stuff where you have multiple dual leads and stuff, that's why we try to take care of them when they're young. Then when they get to be big
I
silver
just wondered
maple.
if we address her.
Yeah, I'm sure Zane probably looked at it, and there was also a couple other oaks down there that needed some dead removed that I had Zane look at. So down in the west end, I think it's West Gambier.
Just keep that for the next meeting.
I will.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Or you'll see
So-
him on Friday too.
The landfill, that's county. Do we have any jurisdiction with that because we're state tree?
That's funny. Actually, the city used to own that property.
Okay.
That was the city landfill or city dump. Then a few years back, they said this is ridiculous. It's out in the county. So they deeded it over to the commissioners with the county. Now, just like any citizens, we can use it anytime we want to or do anything.
Right,
like
like
that.
I was just asking, I was out
Yeah.
there last night, and it's way up by the fence line, like that mat. I can't remember his last name, I sent him a picture.
Yeah.
Like, is that county that pushes it back?
The county has a contract with a company that handles a lot of these green areas. And I'm sure someone has probably called, but if not, always call up to the county commissioner's office
Right.
and ask for Jason or Penny. And either one can give the company a call and say, hey, it's getting full again. We need to get it pushed back. And they're usually pretty good about getting in there. I will say a lot of people like to go out there and get mulch. I would just cautiously be optimistic about that, because you got to remember, like street department, parks department, all the guys like me, they do their dumping out there, which is fine. But a lot of times it might have poison oak, poison ivy, thistle, the Canadian thistle. And when you get one or two of those in your landscape bed, it's a nightmare because their tap roots go forever. So it's usually a chemical treat to get rid of them. It's nice because it's free, but usually there's always strings with something that's free. So I just wanted to caution you against that. So other than that,
Thank you very much.
oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate what you do.
Thank you guys.
You gonna do it again next year?
Absolutely, if you'll have me. Absolutely.
We'll work.
Do
work
we
out a
vote on
plan.
that, or is?
I think, I don't know if they ever voted or not. Speaking of which, I ran into Katie the other day at the grand
Sign
opening.
up for lifetime.
Yeah, he's a lifetimer.
Yeah, they'll have to drag me out of here eventually one of these days. So.
All right, well, thank you, Scott. We do appreciate everything that you do. And taking those early morning calls and all the things that go with it.
It's just me and my coffee. It's
Yeah.
all right. You're not interrupting anything anytime.
But that's, like I said, you see anything, make a note of it, let me know, or get a hold of Scott and he'll get it taken care of. Laura, you wanna talk a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah. So Brian and I went out on last Tuesday and we walked Gambier South.
Okay.
So we hit everywhere that we had an actual address for. Still need about 7 property addresses. But we got everything marked, flags marked on the flags, what should go in there, and yeah, Oh, I did have one thing. A lot of people wanted multiple trees. So the way I went about it, I don't know if this is the correct way, was to just say we had a really good response to people wanting trees, and then we'd start with one and see what we could do from there.
Sounds fair.
Okay.
Yeah, we can always
A
go,
lot of people wanted multiple trees.
yeah, we can always go back once we get our number and
Okay.
and where we are in the budget and go from there.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm well over my budget. But that's your job.
We'll make it work. We'll make it all work.
That's pretty much what I have.
Okay. So, Samara, we have another program. We have the TCP, which is the Tree City Partner Program, which is where the citizens water the trees. And then we have a grant program where we provide trees to homeowners, and it can be on private property. Okay, so that's what Sarah's working on. Actually, Russ, an email, and myself.
I'm
Sarah,
Laura.
you're Laura. God, I hope I don't do that again. That was a long meeting.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt
Yeah, we need to get.
or a hat.
Anyway, I totally lost my train of thought. We all have projects where we plant trees around the city, and that's where we get stuff. And then the city council gives the shade tree commission a budget, and that money has to be spent on city property. So we can't do any personal, we can't be on your property planting something with that money. So we have the grant that's available for that kind of thing. So what Laura's working on, and what Russ, Nemel, myself, Zane, and Brianna are working on is the West End, and that's a grant program.
So they did mailings to like whole areas, like all the addresses. People respond, they're interested in it.
Yeah, then we just kind of start calling people and showing up and putting flags in our yard, and that's when the fun stuff happens. You get to talk to people and put the flags up. But that's what she's talking about. I had Zane on here for the West End. We had such a great response in the West End that we've broken it into two groups. Laura has a group and Zane's taking over a group. So
What was the total number? It was over 100.
it was over 100 trees. I thought we'd get 30. I said, no, we'll be lucky to get 30 trees, and we had over 100. So that's been a very nice
Is
response.
that 100 with one for each
Yes.
one?
That was
for each
100
one?
addresses.
100
addresses.
with one per, yeah.
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 So, yes, giving everybody one tree to begin with is great. We can always come back. See where
All these
everything-
trees, like, you think are we gonna plant them this year, or
Well-
when's your year?
Yes, it is a year. They don't dig any of the trees till they go dormant. Usually it's November. Yeah, now in November, so that's when they can start digging the trees and planting them. And then it's weather dependent. There's many things that go into it. Sometimes we're still planting trees in July. Sometimes we're not. Although with our numbers, 400 and, 435, however many trees we put in, it's hard to do that in a short period of time, especially when you have weather. It's like, okay, we're gonna show up and do this, and then they wake up and it's an ice storm. It gets cold and the ground freezes, so it kind of gets pushed around, so there's no definite time. But they will, if we say you're gonna get a tree, you're gonna get a tree.
So should I have people request again next year, or just keep a list of the people that wanted multiple trees?
Keep a list.
And then contact them again next year?
So next year it would be a TCP tree though, is that right?
It could be, yes,
Unless you do another
unless,
grant area.
unless we do
say
another
it's
grant.
Like phase 2.
Well, and we'll have to see where the numbers all fall, and then we can kind of work out how we're gonna do that into this year and next year. It's not a shell game, but, we budgeted so much for 2024, even though we know they're not gonna get planted till 2025. And then we have money for 2025 that we can work on for 25 and into 26. So we can work around a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay. I have Catherine, Pleasant, and Sandusky didn't show up on here, but it is. We have Catherine Street, we just did all the new brick streets in there. There's no tree lawn in that area, so it will be for homeowners. We had quite a few homeowners that responded to that. Pleasant Street, we didn't have as many. When we did the east side of Pleasant Street 2 years ago, we had 31 or 32 This year with the west side, we have like 8. So it's not gonna be it's gonna be very sparsely planted. Hopefully we get more. Catherine Street looks like about 10, depending on how things go there, so, we'll be working on that here soon. Let's see, talked about replacements.
Are you doing the west side of Sandusky this year?
I'm doing west side of Sandusky, Pleasant Street, from Syker Road to Bond Street, and then Catherine.
How many are on the west side of Sandusky? Approximately.
I have 12 people to contact. And those are all tree lawn trees.
Right.
So there's a dozen or so there.
I think there was 21 or 22 on the east side. I took stakes.
I thought it was 31. Yeah. Could have been 21, and I just,
Well, I didn't take my
inflated.
boot off, so maybe I'm counting wrong. I'll double check.
Yeah, and and I'm driving as I'm counting, and I'm trying to drive and go
You know
2,
that's
3,
scary, dog.
4. The kind of
He
stuff that
listens from
happens when
Kate.
you're on the tree commission, you'll start doing that kind of stuff. You look in the trees when you're driving. It's a fun little way of doing things. Okay, we had talked in the spring and then through the summer about the YMCA, would like to get some trees there. Brian and I met with Nick Carter. We walked around the property and we came up with 21 trees. So the Career Center is going to plant them in the spring. 9 of them, what was the term for that? Stonework that makes the planter. Was it a planter? Was that the term? When you build a little water
I know,
retaining
we
wall?
talked about it.
Yeah.
Excuse-
Along-
tree well.
Tree well, okay,
Yeah.
along Mulberry Street and along Chestnut Street. Mulberry Street, there are a couple maples there now, they're just outgrowing the space. They've got the sidewalk all heaved up, the roots are over the curb, the tree lawn's not very big, so we thought it would be better to move onto the bank and put them on the bank. So they were gonna do tree wells along the bank on Mulberry Street and Catherine Street, right? Yeah, Catherine Street, for those trees. It will get the tree on the level area, get it up closer to the parking lot, which gives shade in the parking lot.
So you're gonna build up the downhill side.
Build up the downhill side, put in a hardscape, some decorative stone.
So are they doing south, west, and north sides? Because the east side sort of has along the.
Yeah, east side is done. We
Done,
did that
right.
when they remodeled it a couple years
So
ago.
about 7 per side on the other
The rest of it will be those 3 sides. And the north side, not a lot, because they're gonna tear out the sidewalk from the alley to the west and redo that. So when they do that, then we'll be a few more trees in there in a few years.
Was that something you would like me to put down so I get a hold of John at the Career Center?
I've already talked to John about it.
Okay, so he's all, okay.
Yeah, they're gonna plant the trees and they're pretty certain that they're gonna do the hardscape. It'd
I
be a-
seen the girls that did all of our staking and wrapping this year won an award at one of the competitions they went to.
Very good.
Yeah, so the kids are doing good.
And he said he's got a good crew and a lot of kids this year, so he said, yeah, I think we can work that in. So be in the spring, they're gonna come in, put in the hardscape, put the trees in.
Was there any consideration looking, just past Chestnut, were those 2 trees that were, I guess, silver maples taken out?
And-
Opposite the
on
post
that,
office?
yeah,
Any hope of putting anything in there?
I didn't knock on his door.
Oh, okay.
I'm working with what we got right now. We're committed to what we're doing now, and then we'll look at that. But yes, definitely need to be replaced. We'll get there. Let's see, Career Center's gonna do those in the spring. While I'm talking about the Career Center, the daffodil bulbs were supposed to be delivered this week. So John said as soon as he gets the bulbs, they would be putting them in on the bank at the CA&C bank. So they'll be out, the kids will be out there planting daffodil bulbs here in the next week or so.
Do you want me to kind of help him with that, or you want, I'll just get on and ask if he wants some help?
Yeah, see if he,
Do you want them between the sidewalk and the top of the bank like we had
yep,
them?
black hair, yep.
Okay.
There's still quite a few there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was
Some of them
surprised.
survived and he's in there bulldozing and
Yeah.
putting the trail in, so.
So there was 1,200 daffodil bulbs we bought.
Is there a
Children.
chance to know I don't know if Scott, if you're gonna be in touch the day and time, I wouldn't mind taking a few
Okay.
action photos for.
I'll get a hold of him and see if he could let me know what their plan is, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
That town and country would appreciate maybe.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, to do. I didn't think about that part. I thought we'd take a picture in spring when they're all blooming, but that's good too.
How many bulbs? 1,200?
1,250.
What are suckers?
Suckers.
That's to attract bees.
It's just a beautification and it's pollinator.
Just random on
Bees
the
and butterflies, yeah.
branches.
But they're useless, right?
Well, they,
The Mount Vernon Garden Club gave us
but they're on site.
That's what-
And they don't do,
the money.
they take up more.
Designation of
room
pollinator.
than they really perform, you know what I'm saying, so they're best at.
Anything about the Living Center?
Oh, okay. 'Cause you want,
Um,
you want your leaves.
I
Is
haven't
that
contacted
pushed
them yet
off?
because of
They have a tree here.
budgetary concerns right at the moment.
Because we're spending the
Because
money.
I'm planting a lot of trees, yeah, we're planting a lot of trees. Well, I'm thinking about the Career Center too. Quentin and I went to Riverside Nursery and I can't think of the other one, and we picked up a bunch of pollinators that will be planted along the ditch. We've got the 2-pound bag of wildflowers that will be planted along the ditch. So we're gonna be planting buttonbush, downy serviceberry, spiceberry, sweet shrubs, coral berries, snowberries, arrowwood, and then Pennsylvania sage will be the plantings in there, and then the seeds will go in after that. So that will make that bank, so they don't have to maintain, the Parks Department, Street Department won't have to maintain the north side of that bank. It'll fill in all that space. So that kind of throws Bee City in there too. I know Quentin had a couple other things, but he's not here. So, question about anything so far? All right. So I have on here Tree Commission Academy. We got the application for it. You have it. The Tree Commission Academy, Kate Burley and I went to that about 10 or 11 years ago. It's 2 days, 4 times. So over the course of about 8 months, you meet 4 or 8 times, twice, and then usually there's a month or so break, and then you do it again. They call it freshman, junior, senior. So you run through the program. A lot of the programs that we have been talking about today came out of our training in that program. It's an excellent program. They have a lot of good stuff. They talk about how the city does, how municipalities do the things, how you want to manage things within the municipality, where you go with different things, a lot of resources. I think it's an excellent program. If anybody would like to go, we can get you signed up. The first class is it's on the last page there.
January 7th and 8th.
January 7th and 8th, and where is it?
Washington Courthouse.
Washington Courthouse? And then there's another one where?
Finley,
Finley. What's the dates on that?
the 29th of January and the 30th.
9th and 30th of January. So obviously the Washington Courthouse is closer, I think.
I'm not good with
Yeah, I'm not
distances
good with
in
that.
Ohio.
But if anybody would like to go, let me know, because I would get you signed up. We would take care of the cost. It's something that's very well worth the while. If you want to learn more and be more involved in it, it's definitely a good program.
I would be interested in this.
You would be interested in that?
Yes, I would be interested in learning more about this.
Okay.
So,
We'll get together after the meeting.
awesome.
All right? That was on there. Then, last year, through part of the Inflation Reduction Act that Congress passed, there was a bunch of money for different projects in communities, infrastructure, things like that. ODNR got a good chunk of money, and they were giving out grants for tree planting. We applied for a grant. We applied for $500,000. It's a 3-year grant, just a lot of trees. We have an economic disadvantaged area of the city of Mount Vernon. It's basically the south side, clear down through the industrial park, clear out to Twin Oaks School. So having that designated as that made us higher on the priority list for the grant. So like I said, it was $500,000. It was food truck parking in the industrial park so people don't have to travel, keep the cars off the road as much, a bunch of trees in there, a project at the school. I can't even remember all the things we did. And we didn't get it.
I thought you were gonna get
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, we have 45 communities in our region, and a lot of we're very fortunate in our community with the philanthropy we have, and there are other communities don't have that, so other communities got the money. But the EPA came out with a new grant through the same program, through the Inflation Reduction Act, and Brian Ball has applied for that. He's looking for money for the stormwater, he's looking for money for sewage treatment, the water plant upgrades, different things around the city. So we put our $500,000 into that program. And his intention is, we're gonna ask for this and we'll negotiate. And he's expecting to get something, but we don't know what. So he asked that we pass a resolution or as a group vote on and say, yes, it's a good idea to be involved in the grant, even though we've already filled the grant out. So do you think it's a good idea that we got involved in the grant? If you think so, would you like to vote on it? Make a resolution. A little bit after the fact kind of thing, but yeah.
So the grant is for,
Tree planting.
but the whole EPA one, are we approving just the?
Just our portion, that we agree that what we applied for is a good thing for us.
And that's 500,000
For 3 years, to plant trees, to do improvements in the communities, work with the schools on some things with the schools. Oh, gosh, there were so many things in that.
I think there was tree maintenance.
There was tree maintenance.
You can do anything but you can't purchase equipment, but you can rent equipment.
We can rent equipment, and we can't hire people with it. So it's basically just trees and stuff.
So it vaguely sounds like what Emily, when she was
Emily,
working
yes,
for.
absolutely. She
But
was working.
I'm like, I was just knew that, and the rest of them probably don't know.
No, they don't know anything about it, I know. And I have the stuff, but I didn't bring it with me. It was something I thought up after I got in here. So, we've applied for it. Hopefully we get some of it. If we do, that will be in addition to everything that we already do. More work. I can just see.
Why are you looking at me?
Okay, I'll look this way. More work.
Look at Laura.
More work. More work, Russ.
Laura will do it.
More stuff.
Hey.
Brianna, if we do get awarded any money through that grant, Brianna works in the engineering department. She will be the manager of the grant. So she'll be the person that says, okay, this is what we can do and this is how we do it. And we'll just have to kind of say how we want.
Is it possible next month, either she or you, someone can just give us a little more official, like what they're.
I've been trying to get Brian here to talk about it, but he's just been busy.
I feel like that would make me more comfortable to approve it. And
Okay.
people who haven't been here at all.
All right.
Maybe they'd like to.
We'll put it in the next month's agenda. It just, something that came up in a conversation with him the other day. I was like, all right. So then, one more thing that I do. Did anybody get down and see the dedication of Liberty Park? Good. How'd it go?
I thought it was great.
It was a good
Really
crowd?
good turnout.
I see about
Quite a few
50
people.
Oh, wow, that's good.
I want to say common people, not like, they had the lieutenant governor representation there. I don't know, that's good.
Had some good speakers? Or
Yeah, I did. I thought, what's her safety service?
Tanner.
Tanner Salyer?
Yep, he did great. And Olivia she spoke. And then they talked about like Knox County Ray signed up for the 250th anniversary of America. How we're gonna do a program for that in 2 years. I mean, it's weird to think about it that far out, but
Hey, you gotta start playing.
what a great gift. You know,
Yeah.
and what that park represents all around. So I thought it was first class.
Very good. Very good. So you saw the arborvitae's planted around the base?
Yeah, that was a few people asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, needed some green. It'll be all right.
We were,
Was
When-
it temporary? That's what I understood. That
yeah,
Yeah.
when they poured the base, they framed it up and they poured the concrete, and after they got about 3/4 of the way through, someone decided, hey, we should put the vibrator in here. So the top portion of it filled out to the form very well. The bottom portion has voids in it. So
Are they
then-
keeping those here?
Well, then it came to us and said, can you guys plant something or grow something here that will hide this? So those arborvitaes are actually earmarked for the church out on Mansfield Avenue. Those where they're just there right now for the dedication. But that's one of the things that we talked with we talked with Brian, we need some input, we gotta find something to plant there.
Some globes or something.
Something, they want it filled in green, number one, to cover up the pedestal, but number two, to make it less inviting to climb on.
So are they temporary or are they?
Those there are temporary unless we
But
decide.
there's gonna be some permanent greenery.
There will be some permanent, but we don't know what
We
yet.
just don't know what that
Are they
decision-
putting like a welcome Heritage Park around, you know how you got the 4 squares?
Mhm.
Are they gonna put something around that statue?
That I do not know. I kinda came in on the middle of the discussions on that. It's just, I kinda fell into the arborvitae conversation, cause I had people coming up to me saying, those are gonna, yes, we're aware that arborvitaes get much taller than that. This is just gonna be something so it look nice for the presentation, we're gonna get something else behind it,
So if you can, if anybody knows of anything that would go in, fill out, and not get tall, you got an idea? We're looking for suggestions on that. Okay, we got a couple minutes yet. Randy, your water crew did a great job this year. They're done watering. Have they pulled all the bags?
Yeah, I brought the paperwork, because unfortunately, we had quite a few bad bags. We had another 20 at Life Point Church that were bad. And then with the ones that were just worn out, we had 137 bad bags total for this year. And like I said, a lot of them were just the older ones, they weren't holding water.
Okay.
And they kept track. So right now with the new bags we have and the good bags that they've cleaned and put up, we got 386 bags down there.
That we can consider hopefully to be good.
They should be, with what we bought this year. 72 are brand new, 314 is what they cleaned and put up.
Okay.
They were in good shape. 5 Sycamore Street, the residents took the bags off of them trees, so there was 3 bags there that we didn't get back.
All right, well, darn it. But I guess, not bad considering how many you guys filled all year.
Yeah, been nice we wouldn't have lost many at Life Point, but
Was it mower damage?
yeah. And that was, we had another, I'll say at least 12, so I know we had over 30 bags that was mower damage here this year.
That's your cousin, you should have some for
Well, it was Prescription Lawn Care who's doing it, so.
Yeah.
And we spoke to him once and asked him, and then to stay away, and
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
it kinda worked at the park after I treated with herbicide around them, and they quit hitting them there, didn't they?
well, that was a different company, and we talked to
Yeah.
them, and
That was Hoover's.
Okay. So, last meeting I talked about that, A.M. Leonard was offering a deal. We could get a discount if we ordered bags early. And I thought we'd look into that. Well, by the time I got them called, the deal was over with, so.
Oh, they won't honor it?
Nah. So, it was a limited time special, jump in now while you can kind of thing.
Twist their arm, dog.
Yeah.
Get a little rough with
Oh,
them. How much you like them,
I will call and see what I can do, and I think we probably should get a quote for another 100 bags at least. You think, guys? We're gonna plant a lot of trees this year.
How much are they a bag?
We're paying about $18 a bag. We started out paying 14, and we bought 3 orders last year, and every time we bought them, it went up. It was 17 and change last one we bought. So I'll call and see what we can do. Maybe I can twist. It's hard to twist an arm over the phone.
It is, especially a company that big.
Yeah, and I can whine a little bit, but I don't know if that'll help either. It doesn't work at home, so what makes me think it'll work there? Okay, so one other thing, we talked about the inverters. Did you get a chance to
I haven't talked to Hughes to see what he feels with the one we have on it. Of course, we talked about maybe changing it, but no, I haven't made it out here yet. that has two auxiliary batteries that runs, and if he feels that that would do it, that might be a cheaper route to go. I just didn't want to throw money at it if that's not going to solve the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
only run one pump right now.
I was gonna tell you, there's a company I deal with, that I'm actually working with right now, it's, Spray King, I believe it is, but they have complete systems. Like you said, that generator was gonna be like $3,000.
Round
Two. I looked, cause I'm getting I'm getting like a 50-gallon system for myself, and hopefully next year. They've got 200 and 300-gallon systems with electric start Honda motors and pumps on them for right around $3,200. And that's with a 300-foot hose reel on them. That's hose reel, pump, tank, turnkey. I'll get you the information.
Might be worth looking at.
It'd be worth looking at and see what the people at Hughes, maybe they've got a better system or a better, more, holds more amps or whatever, I
Yeah.
don't know what caused them to not work. So just, let's get on it this winter so we don't, in the
Yeah.
spring, we're ready to roll.
Yep, I was hoping to get out there before today and
Yeah.
talk to him.
You've been busy doing other stuff?
Well, a few things popped up.
Just a
so-
little bit. All right. Well, does anybody have anything to want to talk about that we haven't talked about? Very good. Well, it's 4 o'clock.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
She's got that down.
Yeah, she's real good at that. I look at Sarah when I want that.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Russ,
Thank you.
sorry. Let me know.
Hey,
when you
those
got
same
everything
people
turned
made
off.
the motion to accept the minutes.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do the minutes. We'll do those next one.
Yep. Can I take a picture of the wildflowers? I'll cover up the prices,
Oh, it doesn't, I don't care. This is
like this.
That's fine. Here, let me do that.
Yeah.
You can read my scribble?
No, I just wondered.
That's from an email. I didn't have that with me. That's just some of them. These aren't the flowers. These
Yeah,
are the
I think so.
phony
Yeah,
bushes.
I mean,
These are
These
bushes.
wildflowers.
remember you sitting
Nope,
there
these are
before,
bushes.
but I
No.
never
We've
watched
got
any or not.
We've
No?
got a 2-pound bag of seeds for the flowers.
I think I wanna get,
That's
like-
not these.
That's not these.
oh,
Some of your guys'
These are bushes.
like-
These are plants.
Like,
Thanks.
I don't know if I'm,
Hey, you had phone numbers or something.
Yeah, I wanted to wait for everything to be turned off.
showed up as a proof.